Welcome. This is the story of the journey of a teenager who tried all methods of suicide, and then he did things in his life. Things happened in his life and he became the happiest, content and the richest within on earth. I was this ugly duckling. I don't know how it affects the ducks community, but for humans, if the teens are ugly, it's very uncool. I was ugly, unattractive, skinny, dark-skinned, unsmart, shaky in front of strangers and power, and most importantly, I was unworthy and incapable from my parents' point of view, and that made me want to be attractive, smart, cool, lovable, adorable, good-looking dude, be an Oscar-awarded filmmaker, not one but many, Nobel Prize winner, and whatever I could do to prove to my parents and the society that I was not incapable, that I had much more than they could fathom. Internally, I was feeling so unloved, unworthy, unwanted, friendless on one side, and on the other side, I wanted to know who am I, why I am here on earth, what is the purpose of my life, why there is so much of suffering on earth, and why death is the ultimate reality, and how we could get over death, and how we could be happy and not to choose death by desire. I wanted all these things to end forever, not momentary solutions. My parents used to be very, very strict, and I wanted to fly and they would clip me down and put me in the prison and impose all the restrictions, and I felt being imprisoned and also discharged of all the will to continue living anymore. I would find out new methods to end my life, and I became a rebel to my creator. And why did my creator put me into this hell? My father was from Indian Air Force and he was a para jumping instructor, and he was he would train the toughest training to the toughest people in the military. So he had his own way of thinking, and he wanted me to be a military officer. And also because all my friends have cleared this military officers, this was the biggest exam in India. It is called SSB, by which you clear SSB and you are selected as a military officers, and all my friends have been selected, and they all went on to become military officers except me, because I was not interested in that. I was interested in art. I was interested in making films. I was interested in creation. I used to write to Satyugi every month as a teenager, as an early teenager, and I was madly in love with Charlie Chaplin, Raj Kapoor, Frank Capra, and I would read anything I get. I loved the songs and dances and the emotional thing and a melodrama and the high art in films. And I had my epiphany moment during the end teenage time of mine, and I used to be in the pinnacle of going through all the difficult times of my life, the depressions, the stress and the sadness and the sufferings and the worthlessness, and I was feeling like I was good for nothing. And during one of these endeavors, when I had locked myself in my room and I was trying to kill myself, the creator Bhagwan, whom I had always been a rebel with, Hari, he came in front of me and he was trying to, but I was not ready to stop myself from continuing. And I started strangling myself more seeing him. And then he told me that, see, if you want to finish your life, it's your life, but I want to tell you two things, and if you like, you can listen to them and then you can go through your things. I've come for you. So I just half-heartedly or whatever, I don't remember, but I accepted to listen to him. He said that you are going through this, whatever feelings you are going through, that nobody loves you, nobody cares for you, you are unwanted, and you are like friendless and nobody understands you and all these things. But do you know this thing, that there are many people in this world who also feel like you, and there are many people in this world like who are in a much worse situation than you. Just imagine the people in the streets, just imagine the people who don't have the facilities which you have. You know what you want in these situations, so why don't you go and give people this thing? Like, why don't you go and give people who are suffering like you or more than you, give them that, at least like your sufferings and your pains and whatever you are feeling, and you want to end your life, you don't want to live, so at least dedicate your life to be selflessly giving to them. At least there, all those fill the blanks get filled. And the second thing he said, that see, you cannot make anyone love you. Can you go and just love me and be my friend, or you cannot make anyone love you. But then nobody can stop you from loving them. Nobody can stop you from doing something special for them. Nobody can stop you from giving them what they really, really want inside them. I don't know, like I felt some kind of brightness, of some kind of trust, some kind of vishwas, as we say in Hindi, some kind of this surety that I will never lose this light, never lose this brightness which I have got. And somehow everything was getting more clearer, because it was not just my epiphany moment, it was also my enlightenment moment. And I was feeling like very clear. I could even see or feel the future. Like I would know by then that by the age of 25 I will leave everything, and then I would start my work, and by the age of 50 also again I will start the most important part of my works and life works. And so I decided the first thing I have to do is to come out of this beautiful prison or whatever I was in during that stage, and I have to come out in the way my parents would be convinced, because we had this upbringing that our parents knows the best. I decided to postpone my filmmaking and of doing what Hari has told me to do. These things to be done post 25 years, and before that I wanted to prove to my daddy that I am better than my friends and I could do, because it was not only proving to my dad, it was also proving to myself, because I wanted to confirm, I wanted this assurance that this enlightenment moment really happened in my life when Hari came and told me these two things. I cleared the SSB by being second in All India merit, and I went and became a military officer. And my parents were not only happy, they were so proud, and I could see my whole life settled in the way the world thinks as settled, and everything was fine. I was living a 5-star life and eating 5-star food and doing whatever I wanted to as a young bright military officer, and I could be with the most beautiful looking girls, and everything was tickety-boo, like everything was just fine. I knew this thing that by 25 years I would be shifting. But I was not 25 years. It was like end teenage to this. There was so many years. Sometimes I felt that maybe I was destined to be sad or suffering. At age 25 and a half, I renounced all I had till 25 years and even my name, and I came to this city called Calcutta, which was Calcutta at that time in 1996, I think. And that time there were like these two people. I used to talk to this internationally awarded filmmaker called Buddhadev Das Gupta through mails and on phone before that, and he had told me that he used to be a professor and he had left everything, and he had many more difficulties, but he felt that it was important for him to do what his soul craved to, and he started making his films. And then there was my beloved Mother Teresa, and she was working in Calcutta for the poorest of the poor. And these two things made me feel that Calcutta, even if people would say that it was a dying city, dead city, and Americans would feel that they have to, when they get down from the airplane in the airport, and they have to walk over dead bodies, and all these images people had in the world. But for me, Calcutta was the source of all the light, and I was Korak day. I used to say that if Satyajit Ray had given a ray, I want to give the whole day. So anyways, so within 24 hours of coming to Calcutta, I went to Satyajit Ray's house by talking to his son, Sandeep Ray, and I remembered his number, his address, 1 by 1 Bishop Lefroy Road, and I went to his house. During those times, I used to slog like from early morning till late nights, and I would be doing my classes in SRFTI Film Institute, and because I was learning film direction and screenplay writing there, and I would slog there and slog in the libraries, and then I would go to the streets and to the railway stations, and I was volunteering in Mother Teresa's place. I was volunteering in the prostitute children's place and also the street children's school. And then I would be going to the railway stations to bring the people, and I would carry these dying people. Many of them even died in my arms, and I was carrying them, and their maggots which they had in their deep wounds, they would be over my body, and I would slog and I would clean their wounds with my empty hand. At the same time also, I was witnessing these letters from the painter Vincent van Gogh to his brother Theo van Gogh, and then I was going through Beethoven's life stories, and I would research about formation of symphonies, and I would be going through Tarkovsky's the great films and his things, and I would be going through Mirza Ghalib's fight with his current situation of religion and things like that, and is trying to break free himself. And I was I could feel these things, that also at that time, that art is not about learning the techniques, because I remember one Spanish journalist who had come to India to do some journalism about filmmaking and song and dances and all these things in India. But then he would tell me, Korak, how come you are working in Mother Teresa's as a volunteer and doing all these things, and while you should have been in the film school? I said, in the film school I could learn the techniques, that's all, which which anybody with little sense can know that how to shoot. But I wanted to learn what to shoot. I was seeing lots of realities. I was seeing what charity was, and what people down there was, and what living in luxury but having a show off, or what hypocrisy was, and how the doctors who would be like angels in the world, and they would be actually businessmen. I was doing my filmmaking thing, I was learning it, and I was doing my working as Hari had told me. But then I would feel that no, that was not what Hari wanted me to do. That may be a popular way. Maybe becoming a popular filmmaker is a great thing, cool thing, and getting all those external things. But even like becoming a cool saint, or becoming a cool swami, and all these things, the NGOs and things, and the charity thing and all these things is cool. But then that was not the selfless thing which Hari had told me. But so I was again going through all these difficult times of, like, I had left SRFTI, the situations were made in such a way that I had to leave, or it was I remember it was a Christmas Eve Sunday newspaper, the biggest newspaper in India, in Kolkata that time, Calcutta that time, was called Sunday Times or something, and it was the front page news the way I left. And so many things, like I was going through a huge grinding. The change which started happening to me was that I could now see beyond the meta thing, META. I could see beyond. I could see, like, everybody was talking about the poorest of the poor, and how you can do charity for them, and how can I had friends from all over the world, and I would go deeply with them, talking to them. When people are on the street, or when people are dying, or when people are hungry, or without a shade, or all these things, you can just give them that, and that is finished. But when people are suffering inside, when they are depressed, when they are in stress, when they are with anxiety, when they are suicidal, and when they are all these things, people around them couldn't even find out most of the time. They would make these hard walls around them, and they would not allow people to help them. They would not allow people to do anything for them. These shoulders I have so much of tears. If the tears wouldn't have dried, I would be like a wet man. I was feeling that I was not doing much, even after doing like so much according to the world. I was feeling that I was not doing anything at all. By the time my other film institute, film school students, fellow students, they were making their own diploma films funded by the government, I was making my own film called My Karma, which was funded by friends from all over the world who were in resonance with me, and they also wanted something very special to come to the world. This film had the best cast and crew from India. I had got Munmun Sen, she's a famous actress in India, and then the best sound person and the best camera person, and all these people were there, and we made this film called My Karma, which was Kolkata Kali in Bangla, and the film is in English, but it went to the world, and it got lots of international awards, and like best film Grand Prix, best screenplay, and best director debut. And at the same time, Hari, my creator, has already also taken me to this place. It was a very difficult Muslim slum, because most of the slums in India are in these big cities are actually Muslim slums. So so I was taken there, and I felt this calling from there that like I felt the whole, like the small lanes, and all these things which you see, and so I felt some calling, and I thought I will start my school there for the children and also for the helpless women there. So I had plans that now, since like I'm a awarded filmmaker, and so I would be earning a lot of money, because I was getting a lot of queries for making films in Hollywood, or in so-called Mumbai film industry, or Bollywood, or even in Kolkata. So I had plans that I will be earning a lot of money, and I would not directly work in these slums. Rather, what I would do is I would earn the money, and then hire best teachers. So I started looking for teachers. I went to the top places to get teachers, and there slowly I started understanding a different thing, that nobody was willing, even with so much money, to get into these slums, because this slum was like the most dangerous place in the eastern part of India, and so nobody wanted to risk their life. Even if I was telling them I will give you a lot of money, but no luck. So I said that by 1st July 2002, if I don't get these teachers, then I would just postpone my filmmaking and everything, and I would start myself, because even though I knew that I would be the best person to do that, but still I wanted also to cling on to my filmmaking. Anyways, I started my work in the slums, and I could remember like the way it was happening there. Like within 2 months it was like so much was happening, and I decided upon two things. That first thing is, we won't accept any kind of donations or charity, and only people who would think this work and the people of the humanity as their own responsibility, as own family, selfless family, only they can share in the work, and they have to share monthly, not 10% but more of their hard-earned money, and only that is the way. Or you have to give your life, you have to give your whole into this work and do. Besides that, no way of accepting donations and things. Another thing which I did was like no award policy. Like for this work for humanity, we will not accept any kind of recognition or awards. I realized this thing, that you can get these big cups as big recognitions and big awards, but after all, these big cups are actually empty cups. So it is what you fill inside the cup of your inner being, the cup of your life, that is the thing which is of any importance in your life. Or else, like people can die, keep on dying like animals and birds and the crowd, but it is what you put into your cup of your life that is more important than those empty cups. And then from 2002 till 2021, all these time I was going through this work and this thing, and I had done it with all I had, like 24/7. The 80% of what their life management is, the life, the way the life works, is actually the inner excellence, is actually getting in resonance with your inner technology. And that was the most important way of removing your toxins, becoming free of your regrets, becoming happy, becoming filled with love, becoming content in life. When I heard about Steve Jobs, the last message he has given to the world, about he was actually screaming and telling the world not to just concentrate on these 20% of our life, and not to just give everything, put all your eggs into this 20% and leave the 80%. We are in this world to make things beautiful for us, for our families, for our humanity, for the nature, and for everyone. We are not here to hate. We are not here to, murder. We are not here to do evil things. We are not here to be hypocrites. We are here to be positive. And I am really sure that you want to be happy within. You want to be 100% rich. You want to be in complete resonance with your inner excellence. You are filled with excellence. Whatever you are, you may be a celebrity, you may be a politician, you may be whatever. If you feel that you also want to be all these beautiful things. This is one life, just one life, and just imagine how much it is already finished and how much is left. You don't know how much is left. Nobody knows how much is left. But whatever is left, we have to make this life best life. All you have to do is just click the link below. That's all. And we'll take it from there. Okay? Pranam.